Rio Reacts is back. We're here. This is the aftermath of the England game, the second game we played now against Denmark. So, yeah, I've had a bit of time to sleep on it and think. And you sit there sometimes after you do a bit of punditry work and you think, were we too harsh? Did we miss anything? And I have to say, I don't think we were. I just think you just say what you see. That's our job. We're there to look at the performance. I think results are obviously the most important thing. First game, we got the 3 points. Didn't play particularly well. Couple of things to work on. Second game, you're thinking, right, the shackles are off. We'll go and see more of a real England team that we used to see. And we have to remember that this team's been being built for over the course of probably 2 tournaments now. And you look at that and think, right, there'll be a real kind of cohesive unit, a real togetherness of the way that they play, a real understanding of the tactics. And man for man, we'll know exactly what our jobs are. And we look probably anything but that. We look a bit of a fragmented team. We look like a team that are finding it hard to find solutions in all phases of the game. I think the balance of the team is something that needs to be looked at. If you look at it, we've got a number 10 in Phil Foden, number 10/8 playing out on the left wing. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, a right back, playing centre midfield. We've got a right back in Trippier playing left back. And we've got a team that, on top of that, don't seem to have any real structure or direction, which then makes it difficult, even more difficult when those players are playing out of position. If those players are playing out of position, but within a team that they understand totally the tactics and the approach, I think you get a different outcome in terms of performance. And we're not seeing players who play a certain way and play really well for their clubs. We're not seeing them players in England shirts right now. And that is really, in a bad way, throwing me back to my era. That's how we were. We were great players and some top players for our clubs, never replicated it for England. And I look at this team now, and the interviews that I saw post-match after the game from Harry Kane and Gareth Southgate especially was a little bit of we're not really sure what we're doing out of possession. And you can see that. We don't know when to press. We don't know how to press. Once or twice you see us get it right and you see we get the rewards of it. Declan Rice pushing him from behind the forward players. We just don't seem to be able to press as a team right now and get it right consistently. And the best teams, we can talk about how good they are on the ball. The best teams are great out of possession. In this tournament so far, the 2 best teams out of possession have been Spain and Germany. And they've looked the 2 best teams so far, but out of possession, they're the best by a mile. But there's a couple of things I look at and think, what can help this team? I think one of the problems we do have is you've got everyone coming to the ball. Say, for instance, I don't know, Stones gets the ball, or Declan gets the ball, or Trent. You've got Phil Foden coming into the 10 position, mainly. You've got Harry Kane coming in there, and you've got Jude Bellingham in there. Like, where is the ability to spread out the opposition team? We've got to stretch them sometimes. Where's the player going further and further beyond into the space behind? Stretching, pulling players back that way to create the number 10 area space. That's a problem. I spoke to Cesc the other day and he said something really interesting about players creating bonds and relationships with each other. Your 2 most creative players really, outside of Saka, probably is Bellingham and Foden, if you get them in the right areas. Where's their bond building? Can we see that? Can we see they want to play to each other? And you look at the best players, normally get fed the ball a lot. And your most creative players normally get fed the ball a lot. Don't look like we're trying to get the ball to Phil Foden as much as we can because we know he's the creator. The 2 moments in the game yesterday that you go, wow, was from Phil Foden. Gets in the little pocket in between the defence and the midfield of the opposing team. Bit of skill, bang, as a shot. Another one where he breaks the lines in midfield, beats 3 or 4 players. No one else is doing that, but we're not getting him the ball enough. And I think the onus is on him to make sure people get him the ball, but also the team needs to be set up for that to happen as well. If everyone's a number 10 coming into the spaces where he wants to play, it can't be right. So I think tactically we need to work that out. I feel Phil Foden and Bellingham have to become central. They have to come central together. Declan is a 6, holding it all together. Jude Bellingham, more of a box-to-box, up and down player, sees the game, faces the game more, can help Declan out defensively as well, and Phil as the number 10. I just feel that we have to go that way. I think we've tried with Trent in there, but he's not a midfield specialist right now. He may grow into that, but I feel the balance of the team, I just feel it doesn't look right at the moment. And I think if there's any moment when you're playing in a game and defensively you're thinking, which I think Trent will do, if there's a moment where you go, a split second, what do I do? That affects Declan. That affects Jude. That affects Stones and Gay. Like those. I'm not saying it's all down to Trent. I'm just saying that there's little nuances in a game where it can really affect things. I don't think the balances look good. And I don't think it's just about Trent. I think Jude will be better in the 8 for England. And I think Phil Foden will be better in the 10. And then you can get someone out wide on the left-hand side who can stretch the game, like a Gordon, who can stretch their opposition and push them back. But it's I don't know. You look at, for instance, Spain, how good they look. They've got 2 wingers that are willing to play 1v1 and beat people and go past people and stretch the opposition. It's not rocket science, man. Let's get players that can do that as well. We've got them. That's the thing. We've got them in our roster. So it's difficult. I think there was a big call yesterday talking about Harry Kane and what he's not doing in terms of pressing and high intensity runs and on that press. I get that, but then I said after the game, he does what's the hardest thing to do in the game, which is score goals. So if I see people calling now, he might have to be left out for someone who runs more and runs better, but you're taking goals out of your team, man. The top goal scorer, the talisman. I think it's a real hard decision. It's going to have to be a brave decision for Gareth Southgate to do that. But will he do that just to have a look and see? Maybe that's what he needs to do. Just see. Not dropping Kane totally, but just have a look and see does the team respond better to having somebody who's a bit more of a mobile mover in a Watkins maybe up front. But then will Watkins be able to do what we consider the hardest thing in the game, which is score the goals? Will he be able to do that at the top level? But the big question that I have, and I've been saying this for a while, for maybe a year or so, maybe a bit longer, is why do we continue to play in the qualifiers when we're blowing teams away against substandard teams in friendlies, etc.? Why do we continue to keep playing like our best 11? Why are we not testing out the likes of, I don't know, Gallagher keeps getting minutes now. Why was he not testing him in game to see how he would fare properly? Why was we not bringing in the likes of Watkins and saying, right, start a couple of games, or Ivan Toney, let's see what you're really like on this stage. Can you be accustomed to playing at this level? Why are we not seeing Gordon play more minutes? Why are we not seeing Eze? Do you know what I mean? There's all these players that we still don't know if they're going to be good enough, but they're here. Even Gay's been brilliant, been our best defender, all right? But we didn't know, did we, really, what he was going to be like? Because he doesn't get a good amount of time to play and have minutes. Not whole games, 45 here, there. So when we're saying we haven't got a replacement for Calvin Phillips, we've had probably 18 months to find a replacement for Calvin Phillips, and that's where I'm a bit worried about it, because 18 months we knew Calvin Phillips weren't going to be playing for England. Can't get in the City team. Went to West Ham, didn't go well there. We knew a long time ago that he weren't going to be on the plane. You've got Mainoo sitting there, Wharton sitting there. I don't know. It's a lot of questions, a lot more question marks than I thought I'd have about the performances than I thought I'd be asking myself at this stage. I'm supremely confident about England, man, and right now I'm a bit nervous. I've got to say, there needs to be a big improvement. Do I think we can still win it? Yes. Have I been a bit nervous? Have I been in a position where I'm going, you know what, a lot of questions about my team, England? Yes. But do I still have the confidence in them? Yes, I do, because we've got players of huge ability. They've shown it for their clubs. They can show it for England. They've done it for England. Come on, man. Yes, guys, just let me know in the comments what you would do as well, man. What would you change? What would you change to alter the balance to be much more better in the game? What would that be? Would it be a high and wide left winger who's more direct? Would it be bringing Phil back into the central areas? Would it be putting Mainoo in there instead of Trent? I don't know. What would be your decision that would change things for England? Guys, that's it. That's Rio Reacts. We're finished now. Listen, man, there's lots to work on, but I know we're going to get it right. Make sure you jump in the comments, subscribe, turn notifications on, and make sure you're here to see what goes on in the Euro 2024.